Hey up, folks. Do you like my Christmas tree? I bought it from Lidl a few years back, 1 January, late January, I think. Cost me £2. Oh, I'm not complaining. Every year it gets brought out and plugged in. And then come Boxing Day, every year it gets folded up again and stuck in its box for another year. It's my contribution to the festive season. That's what I want to talk about today, the festive season, because it kind of irritates me every year that people say, you're not allowed to talk about Christmas. Uh, you go and buy your Christmas pudding and they sell them as fruit puddings because Christmas is banned, you know. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. And you're under no obligation to wish people a merry holidays. You can wish them a merry Christmas or hope they have a merry Christmas if you want. And it doesn't matter whether they're believers in the supernatural or atheists. It's Christmas, and it's a British tradition. There's only one part of Britain, actually, that ever banned Christmas, and that part is, well, where I live now, Scotland. Christmas was banned by law in 1640, and by God, they enforced it. The reason they did it is that the Scots took their Reformation very, very seriously. And Christmas to them was a papist ritual. They wanted naught to do with popery. So they banned Christmas, made every bugger work on the 25th of December. Fast forward 20 years to the restoration of the monarchy in 1660, and the prohibition remained, but it wasn't enforced. But it was frowned upon if you celebrated Christmas. That's the reason why the Scots celebrate New Year instead of Christmas, but by now it's all merged together. So nobody's banning anybody from celebrating Christmas in the British way. And that's what I want to talk about today. The 12 days, more or less, of a traditional British Christmas. Now, when's the first day of Christmas? Well, the first day of Christmas is known as Black Eye Friday in southern England. It's called Mad Friday in northern England and Scotland. Don't ask me what the Ulstermen and the Welsh call it, I got no idea. But basically, Mad Friday is the last Friday before Christmas Eve. It's when most of the firms shut up shop until some point in January. So as soon as you finish work, you get out of wherever it is you're working and into the pub as quickly as possible. And why do they call it Mad Friday? Well, because let's face it, it's everybody's been working, everybody is now pissed, and they start punching holes out of one another. If you're celebrating Mad Friday, traditionally you will probably wake up on the Saturday in a police cell. Hopefully they'll release you. But by and large, these traditions have to be maintained. So go out, get battling, get arrested, spend the night in the cells. Depending on when Mad Friday is, that really depends, of course, on how many days you have to wait until Christmas Eve. Could be almost a week, could be just a couple of days. But by and large, it's your time to kind of sober up a little bit. Instead of drinking yourself to death, you'll just have a few pints every day with your friends. Some firms, if there's a period of time between Mad Friday and Christmas Eve, some firms will have the firm's Christmas party during this period. Basically, you take over a pub and then just close the doors and leave them to it. I remember back in the 80s, I worked as a doorman in a nightclub, and one year the club was rented in the afternoon by a building firm, and all the directors were there and the managers all in their Sunday go to meeting clothes with necks that bulged out of the collars of their shirts. And the next thing I know, all hell's breaking loose. That they're all hammering hell out of one another on the dance floor. But the beautiful thing was, their wives, mothers, and girlfriends were just sat at tables drinking and smoking cigarettes and completely the fellas were having a fight, the girls were having a drink. Welcome to Britain. So we get to Christmas Eve. Now, in a lot of countries, Christmas Eve is a family occasion, and they will eat their Christmas dinner on the evening of the 24th, as I do. After all those years living in Mexico, that's not the case for the average Brit. Because the average Brit on Christmas Eve basically is replaying Mad Friday. The difference is he tends to be out with his girlfriend, or his bird as he calls her, and so it tends to keep things a little bit calmer. Women are very good at stopping fights from breaking out unless they want to see a fight break out. So the fights that you will get in nightclubs tend to be when somebody says something to someone's girlfriend. Yeah. But still, there's an awful lot of alcohol consumed, and the following day, people are probably not in a very good position to eat a traditional Christmas dinner. Now, traditional Christmas dinners were eaten mid-afternoon on the 25th. As I say, I now have my Christmas dinner on the 24th, so I don't know what time people eat today on the 25th, and I don't know if they still keep the ritual of having a house full of people and the women spending all morning and afternoon in the kitchen, and the men basically just staring blankly into space as they wait for the hangovers to go away. I don't know, but nevertheless, that is Christmas Day. Boxing Day, of course, is when people that you haven't seen for the rest of the year and probably don't want to will come round and visit you. They will, you will give them turkey sarnies, you will give them mince pies, you will give them lots and lots of cups of tea to try and sober them up for the rest of the day. You might give them a glass of sherry. My parents always did that. But then again, my parents didn't drink, so the bottle of sherry lasted for years. Moving on from Boxing Day, we're now getting ready for what the Scots call Hogmanay, which is New Year's Eve. Alcohol consumption is still high, but it tends to be afternoon drinking. You know, you need to pace yourselves getting ready for the big blowout on the 31st of December. And when it comes, oh God, it is magnificent. Scotland has the 2nd of January, not just the 1st, as a public holiday, because the population are so gassed. Expecting them to go to work on the 2nd is next to impossible. The drinking starts, God knows what early time on the 31st. And it doesn't end until, well, the last man has collapsed. They will have drunk the place dry wherever they are. There are parties in most tenements. And if you want to get it, well, you don't need to be invited to one. You just go and knock on the door and say, hi, my name's Tom. I was invited by Billy. And he said I should come in here. What does he look like? I don't know. He was a bit pissed. They'll invite you in. Don't worry. It's Scotland. It's Hogmanay. 1st of January. And this is a tradition that's specific to Scotland, but should go to the rest of the country. 1st of January, the tradition is that people eat steak pies. You go to any supermarket in Scotland and they are chock full of steak pies. Some are quite small for just 2 or 4 people. Some are massive. I mean, you know, a foot or more wide, intended for a family. It's a tradition. It should be kept, like all good traditions. And then we get beyond the 1st of January to the 2nd, and slowly but surely the country sobers up and we head back into bastard work. But we're not there yet. So enjoy your Christmas. Remember, a traditional British Christmas is about drinking beer. It's about fucking as many women as you can. And it's about not thinking about bastard fucking work for at least another week. Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a great new year as well. And think on, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye now.